who is the best available right now? I want to make sure I make this clear. On3.com has a full ranking system of the players that are in the portal right now. So you got them 1 through however many that are in the portal right now. We got a ranking system for you, but I'm going to give you some of my best available. This is not a complete list. We're going to keep this segment going week in and week out, so make sure you're locked in here. Here's some of the best available. The first player that I'm looking at, Devin Leary, was a baller a season ago at NC State. Got hurt this past year, but going into the season, a lot of NFL buzz, and deservedly so. 35 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 65% completion percentage of 2021. Dude's a dog. Dude can sling it. And the reason why he is such an intriguing prospect in the portal right now, a lot of these quarterbacks that are in the portal have a lot of upside and potential, and you feel good about what they could be. Devin Leary is an extremely proven commodity. You plug him into your roster today, and he makes your team substantially better. 6'1", 215. He's our #1 portal quarterback right now in the On3 portal rankings. So keep an eye on him. Wherever he ends up at, that program will get substantially better, offensively at least, to say the very least. He will be a huge asset. Really quickly, if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, would love to have you at the party, all right? Also, the social channels. Make sure you're locked in. At JD Piquel on Twitter and on Instagram. Got something coming there very, very soon for you. We don't want you to miss it, especially on Instagram. All right? Next player I'm looking at, Jaheem Bell. He's listed as a tight end from South Carolina. The reality is South Carolina played him all over the field a season ago. Absolute freak show, okay? He's had 25 receptions as a tight end. That's a lot. Also had 73 carries rather, as a running back in this offense. So a lot of South Carolina fans, the gripe of the entire season was, why is number 0 not touching the football more? 6'3", 232, and can run. It's understandable why there's a little bit of a, irritation level to why number 0 didn't get more of the rock. His offensive coordinator, Coach Satterfield, decided to follow his former boss Matt Rule to Nebraska, and so Jaheem Bell says, okay, I'll jump in the portal, going to test the waters. There's a thought out there that maybe he's going to come back to South Carolina. We'll see if that ends up being true, but regardless, whoever gets Jaheem Bell gets a player that can play all over the field. They lined him up even at Wildcat quarterback at times this year at South Carolina, and a guy who can impact your offense and play on day one. Also played a lot of football, so there's no mystery about what he's bringing to the table. He's the number 9 player right now in the On3 portal rankings, a guy that will help your program. So keep an eye on Jaheem Bell, a bit of a unicorn. Let's go back to the quarterback position for this one. This is from Nick Brake's alma mater, the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. How about Austin Reed? It's about 6'2", 230, kind of that NFL build. Dude can sling it. Talked to somebody at Western Kentucky as their fall camp was getting going, and you remember correctly, Jarrett Dagey, who is a Power 5 starter in his own right from West Virginia, transferred to Western Kentucky, and he and Austin Reed were going back and forth in fall camp. Talked to somebody from Western Kentucky who was like, I don't know what we're going to do with Jarrett Dagey because Austin Reed's a baller. Went so far as to say he's a version of Brett Favre. Obviously, that's a little bit hyperbole, but he's that kind of a skill set. 36 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, bit of a gunslinger, 4,247 yards this season. That's good for second in the country, folks. Austin Reed, a guy who a lot of Power 5 programs are going to be calling here in the very near future, if they haven't already called him, okay? So Austin Reed is going to be a Power 5 starter somewhere. There has been rumblings on Florida Twitter they would be interested in him. That is the fan bases. I can't speak for the program, but the fans are saying, we need a quarterback. Why not a kid from Florida and Austin Reed? Austin Reed also should be mentioned. He's transferred before, so he's going to be a grad transfer, but he transferred from a Division II school in West Florida to get to Western Kentucky. So he just continues to climb the ranks in the college football landscape. Austin Reed, a guy you need to keep an eye on. He's a top 5 quarterback for us right now in the portal. I think he still has his best football in front of him. Is he as proven a commodity from a competition standpoint as Devin Leary? I mean, no, but the upside with him, he's one of those upside guys, tremendous potential. Really live arm, ball jumps out of his hands. He can sling it. I'm excited to see where Austin Reed ends up because somebody's going to get an absolute baller. Rah-Rah Thomas, Mississippi State wide receiver jumped in the portal. He put up numbers a season ago for Mike Leach in that air raid offense. 44 catches, 626 yards, 7 touchdowns. The most impressive stat to me, 14 yards of reception. That tells you Rah-Rah Thomas is an explosive wide receiver. Whether it's with the ball in his hands, whether it's him just stretching the field and being a vertical threat, a guy who can play. A big body wide receiver, right around 6'2". There's a couple of highlights going around YouTube right now with him just mossing different defenders, especially in the earlier part of that LSU game. I'm really excited to see where he ends up. And he's got a lot of programs knocking on his door right now. He's been one of the guys that has tweeted his offers out. Georgia offered him very recently. Tennessee's offered him. I believe Oklahoma offered him recently. I mean, there's a lot of big-time programs that want Rah-Rah Thomas, and for good reason. Right now, he's graded at like an 89 for us in the portal, so he's not necessarily a top-tier guy, but he's one of those sneaky receivers in this class that I think you need to keep an eye on. It's funny, we're saying the portal class. But, yeah, keep an eye on Rah-Rah Thomas. Dude's going to be a dog. His size and explosiveness is something that will make your offense better instantly. Fentrell Cypress is a corner from Virginia. He is the #1 player right now in our On3 portal rankings. 6 foot, 170s, good size. Was second team All ACC. 14 pass breakups. He only allowed 18 receptions on the entire season. Translation, if you line up across from Fentrell Cypress, the reality is you're probably not going to touch the football a whole lot that day. There is, going to Twitter rumblings, Ohio State sounds like they're going to be in the race for him. There's a lot of interest, again, according to Twitter and different reports coming out. Ohio State would love to land him, but he's going to be a guy that you can play on day one, really impact your secondary in a big way, and really turn off, in theory, at least one side of the field. So Fentrell Cypress, a guy that a lot of people will be after, and right now he's #1 in the On3 transfer portal rankings. Keep an eye on where he ends up. So to recap for you, we got Devin Leary, Jaheem Bell, who needs to see the football wherever he ends up. He's a freak show. Austin Reed, Western Kentucky quarterback, just continues to climb the ranks across college football. Rah-Rah Thomas, he's a mismatch. He's going to make your offense better on day one. He's explosive, got a lot to bring to the table. Keep an eye on where he ends up. And then Fentrell Cypress, a proven commodity corner from Virginia, broke out this past year. He's around the football a lot. And if he's guarding you, you're probably not around the football a whole lot, if you catch my drift. So keep an eye where he ends up. Again, our #1 player in the On3 transfer portal rankings. Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.